Bismillah, walhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala, amma ba'd. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. And a good morning to everyone. We welcome you to another episode of Morning Tea, Talaqqi and Tadabbur, where we will recite a few verses from the Quran. Afterwards, we will be reflecting upon some of the verses that we have read, insyaAllah. How is everyone doing? Hope you are all doing well and in the best state of health and iman. We begin our session with Ummul Kitab Al-Fatiha in the hopes that this session will be a beneficial one and that it will serve as a kickstart to a positive and productive day ahead, insyaAllah. Ala hadihi niyya wa kullu niyatin salihah. Al-Fatiha. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. Okay, so for today's session, we will be reciting page 81 of Surah An-Nisa. And page 81 of Surah An-Nisa consists of verses 20 all the way till 23. Okay, so if you have your mushafs, your personal mushafs with you, do turn to page 81. If not, then you may follow from the verses that will be displayed on the screen, insyaAllah. Verses 20 all the way till 23. Let us begin. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وإن أردتم استبدال زوج مكان زوج وآتيتم إحداهن قنطارا فلا تأخذوا منه شيئا أتأخذونه بهتانا وإثما مبينا وكيف تأخذونه وقد أفضى بعضكم إلى بعض وأخذن منكم ميثاقا غليظا ولا تنكحوا ما نكح آباؤكم من النساء إلا ما قد سلف إنه كان فاحشة ومقتا وساء سبيلا حرمت عليكم أمهاتكم وبناتكم وأخواتكم وعماتكم وخالاتكم وبنات الأخ وبنات الأخت وأمهاتكم اللاتي أرضعنكم وأخواتكم من الرضاعة وأمهات نسائكم وأمهات نسائكم وربائبكم اللاتي في حجوركم من نسائكم اللاتي دخلتم بهن فإن لم تكونوا دخلتم بهن فلا جناح عليكم وحلائل أبنائكم الذين من أصلابكم وأن تجمعوا بين الأختين إلا ما قد سلف إن الله كان غفورا رحيما صدق الله العظيم. Okay, so Alhamdulillah, we have just finished reciting verses 20 all the way till 23 from Surah An-Nisa. And in these verses that we have read, the chronology of it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala starts off in verse 20 and 21 of the mahar. When we want to marry with another woman, okay, the mahar, this chain of verses, verse 20 and 21 talks about if a man wants to marry another woman, okay, and from his previous marriage, he, for example, gave $2,000 in cash as mahar, okay, as mahar, mas kahwin, or in Malay you said, okay, that $2,000 he has given to his previous wife. He cannot use that mas kahwin, he cannot use that dowry he asked to take back from his previous wife and then give to his soon to be wife. Yeah, that is unlawful lah. You have given, so you cannot take back what you give. And in a separate hadith, the Prophet SAW mentions al-a'id fi hibatihi kal-a'id fi qai'ihi, atau kama qala sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which means someone who asks back for his gift, okay, is can be the same as a dog who eats his own vomit, just to show how very immoral it is lah, the act of taking back what you have given. Okay, so in essence, the first two verses starts off with the case that if a man wants to marry a new woman, okay, and from his previous marriage he has given dowry, mas kahwin, he cannot take back the dowry that he has given, because that is the property of his previous wife already. You cannot take back. Okay, it is immoral and unlawful to take back. Okay, so that is one chain of story. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continues the chain of verses, verse 22 and verse 23, by explaining, okay, the woman that we can and cannot marry. So this gives a proper guideline in Islam of which woman we can marry, we can have intimate relations, sexual relations with, and who we cannot have those type of relations with. And in verse 22, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions, وَلَا تَنْكِحُوا مَا نَكَحَ آبَاؤُكُمْ مِنَ النِّسَاءِ, those that your fathers have married, you don't engage in sexual relations with them. For example, your mother, you cannot engage in sexual relations with your mother, or your stepmother, for example, because your father has married that stepmother. So you shouldn't engage in sexual relations with the woman that your father have married. Okay, so that's one. Then in the following verse, Allah gives another list of women that you cannot have intimate relations with. Okay, and to name a few, ummahatukum, as mentioned, your mothers, wa banatukum, your daughters. Okay, even your daughters you cannot have intimate relations with. Wa akhawatukum, and your siblings, your siblings of the other sex. For example, your sisters. Okay, and wa ammatukum wa khalatukum, your paternal and maternal aunties. Okay, you cannot have intimate relations with. Wa banatul akh wa banatul ukht. Okay, and the daughters of your brothers and daughters of sisters. Okay, meaning to say your nieces, you cannot engage in intimate relations with them. Okay, so from this verse that we have read, it just shows that Islam verily protects the welfare and the chastity of women. Okay, they cannot engage in intimate relations, or us men, we cannot engage in intimate relations with as and when we like. Okay, there are proper guidelines that we have to abide by. And also, from another perspective, we can see that these guidelines can also be applied in terms of mahram. Okay, mahram is those we cannot marry, and so this is applicable during raya, during gatherings, family gatherings. So who can I touch and salam, and who can I not touch and salam? So those whom we cannot have intimate or sexual relations with, we can salam, we can touch and salam them. So for example, your mother, of course you can salam. Your aunties, okay, from the paternal or maternal side, you can salam. And also your nieces, also you can salam. So this verse also gives us a guideline in a sense of who we can salam and not salam on, or during family gatherings. So all in all, this shows that those who claim that Islam does not safeguard the welfare of women, they are verily in the wrong lah. Okay, because just from these verses we see that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent down to mankind Islam to safeguard the welfare of women. So the first few verses that we read talks about the dowry that was given to women from previous marriages. They can keep the dowry, they are obligated to keep the dowry. So if a husband from the previous marriage comes and wants to take away the dowry, I cannot, it is already her property. And also, men cannot marry with any woman they like. Okay, there are proper guidelines on who they can have intimate relations with. Okay, they cannot anyhow want to have sex with their mothers, with their own mothers or their own siblings. I cannot. Okay, Islam forbid that. So they have to abide by these guidelines. So all in all, as mentioned, the chastity of women or the welfare of women is safeguarded by Islam. Okay, we suffice with that reflection. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all our deeds, and may this session be a beneficial one. Thank you all once again for your kind attention and for following through this session, for supporting Kampung Siglap Mosque's programs. Do continue to support. We encourage and seek your kind support through donations too. Okay, you may donate through the numbers displayed on the screen below, through PayNow, fund transfer, or the mosque website. Okay, hope to see you again in forthcoming sessions. Do give it a like and share if you find this beneficial, so that others may benefit also. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh.